Do you hear me? I don't hear you. Bruh, don't hear you. We do not hear you. No, look at John. John's backing me up. We don't hear you, dude.
All right, there we go.
There we
I
go.
didn't hear you. See, first you didn't. No, first I never had. How about this? I never had my mic on, but I was yelling at you because your mic wasn't on because I couldn't hear you. And then you fixed your mic, and I was like, "Oh my God, I'm the asshole." Hey, everybody, welcome into the Pillow Talk edition of Pugs and Parker. This is the second of two streams that I do each and every day right here on the Radio Misfits podcast platform. First one, we like to call it High Noon. That comes on at what time? That's right, high noon. Coincidentally? No, we planned it. That's the kind of people we are. Noon every day. It's hot topics, trending topics, headlines, anything that's happening in the world that you need to know, or at least that I feel you need to know. You can tune in then, and I'll get you all briefed up. I just don't want you being accosted at the water cooler by, that lady at work who always says, "Hey, did you hear about?" I want you to be able to say, "Yes, Madge, I did hear about." Parker, how are you today? He's James Parker. He joins me here in the 9 o'clock show.
Do you know a Madge? Because that didn't sound very hypothetical.
I do not actually know a Madge.
Okay.
I do not know a Madge. I assume there is a Madge out there.
Yeah, but that sounded really authentic,
Well, yeah, I got it.
Like, hello, Newman.
So, you weren't listening to the noon show.
Not for a second.
Huh?
Not for a second.
What?
I didn't listen for a second, no.
Oh, I thought you said, hold on a second. Every time I talked, I thought you were going, hold on a second. I'm like, what? Huh? Okay. So you didn't hear the noon show. Well, why would you? You have a job. So do you notice anything about me?
Yeah, you cut your head.
Oh, man, did I bled like a stuck pig this morning, James Parker. Let me tell you something. I thought I was going to have to go to the hospital. I thought stitches were in my future. I thought it was bleeding. It was bleeding. It was going all over the place. It was all over the sink in the bathroom, and it was splurting. It was bad. And then, praise Jesus, or actually whomever, and I didn't need stitches. I put some pressure on it for a long time. I actually, I was able to do whatever needed to be done. And I can look at that like, oh my God, what an awful day. I banged my head. But I choose not to, James. I choose to lean into the positive. I choose to say, oh my God, thank God I didn't need stitches. Because as I like to say, bad shit's gonna happen. Bad shit's going to happen to everybody. It's about the immediate aftermath of the bad shit. Can you manage the bad shit? And if you can manage it appropriately, then you know what? You got to see it as a blessing. You got to be optimistic. So I'm having a great day.
Yeah, that is a slight deviation from one of the mantras I hold, and that bad shit's going to happen. The real question is, how much is this going to cost me? And it didn't cost you anything. You didn't have to. Stitches cost something. You have to pay for some dude to do that.
It's the same thing. We just choose different words. It's the exact same thing. Yeah, it would have been a bad day had I been out of pocket. It would have been a bad day had I been forced to sit in an emergency room for 4 hours. Would have been a bad day. It wasn't. I was fine. I do not need stitches. And although it was a little bit wet, I told everybody that I'd keep them all, I'd keep them up to date on my head issues. At the end of the show today, it was a little bit wet. I was like, oh my God, it's just going to leak blood forever. But it's not. It is actually scabbing over. Yeah. There's this paste. It's like a first aid paste. Mm-hmm. Have you ever seen this stuff? And you put it on cuts.
Is that what they do to boxers?
I think that is. I think it is some variation of that thing to stop you from bleeding.
I've always wondered what that was, because they do it in the UFC too, and it looks like that wax I used to put on my braces in 9th grade.
No, I don't know. It's something that's by I don't even know what Johnson.
It's probably just like Laffy Taffy or something. Isn't it?
It's something. It's like, yeah, it's like just a little bit of a goose. It's a disinfectant. You rub it on your cuts, but it's also supposed to make it scab up quicker because it kind of hardens. The paste itself kind of hardens a little bit and causes. And man, did that stuff work good. I mean, it really worked good. That was a deep cut. Do you know how I cut it?
Shaving?
No, but now I'm not going to be able to shave until that scab goes away, or otherwise I'll just cut it. I'll recut it open every time. No, dude, these pictures back here?
Okay.
Okay, so I was leaning down you know how my internet's right behind the chair here? Didn't you
Yes.
have to reboot it once? Yeah. So I was down there rebooting the internet because I got a new Android TV, and I was trying to have it. It wouldn't find the internet network. It was like can't find. So I just rebooted it and it found it. But I was bent down, and when I came back up, I went Doosh! Right on this corner right here. Oh, and dude, I don't know if you've ever felt this. This is sharp glass. This is solid glass.
Oh, that
Oh,
is glass. I remember
yeah.
thinking that when I saw it, I was like, I thought that was like canvas or maybe a print or something. But no, that it's
It's
kind of
heavy
cool.
glass. It's like real heavy glass. And like the edges are like really sharp. Man, I could have, just like one. I actually got the shivers this afternoon. I was looking at it and I thought, just like one fraction of if I had just been positioned just a little bit differently, that thing would have gone, it would have just cranked right into my head. As it is,
Yeah.
it just scraped me and I bled like a stuck pig.
Dude,
But I'm
I
glad
made my head bleed about a month ago. We in the new house where there's a fireplace and it has a mantle. It sticks out only about this far, but that's just enough for when you're an idiot digging in the fire for a long time and then you stand straight up. Boom. So I've done that twice, and I
oh,
don't think I'm ever going to do that again for the rest of my life
see
because
now
both,
yours was concussive. Like you hit head on
yes, blunt
something.
force trauma, right?
You Bob Sageted it. I didn't do that. I didn't hit it hard. I grazed it as my head was coming back.
And it's sharp.
The corner caught my skull and went and scratched. Right. This whole scratch goes all the way. It only bled here because that's where it initially dug into, but
Uh-huh.
then it just like scratch. You can see the scratch. Well,
Oh yeah, you kind of can. No,
it
no, no,
goes
you're
all
right.
the way
Where
back
the
here.
light.
So it's like a scrape all the way back here. And I'm like, oh, but here is where it dug in. That's where it went gunk, where contact was made right there. Oh man. So how's the family?
All right. The wife is still in New Orleans. She's flying back in the morning. Dad was going to go to Whataburger with us tonight, but when we were getting in the truck, he goes, "Hang on, I'll be right back." And so then I'm sitting in the truck with the kids waiting on him to come back, and he calls me. He's like, "Listen, man, I got diarrhea. They changed my medication at the hospital." And I'm like, "So you don't want to go to Whataburger?" He's like, "I do, but I think I'm going to be here a while."
Time out. All right. For those of you who weren't with us, James is going through some stuff. His father in law suffered a heart attack. And on the very same day, his father suffered a heart attack. Yet your dad is up for Whataburger. What, double cheese? What is your dad doing? That
Well,
is
he
not
didn't
a
get
heart
it.
attack dinner. That is not. Isn't he on some special? Didn't you tell me your dad has had a bunch of heart attacks, or is that?
Oh, this isn't his first one. No, he's on like a baker's dozen or so. Like
What's he
he's
doing? Why are you taking him to Whataburger? Shouldn't you be like, Dad, you're having a salad? I mean, I'm just
yeah,
saying.
and he would say, "Well, just kill me now." If
Well, that's his choice.
yeah. So he's gonna do whatever he wants. So I like Whataburger too. Let's go. Let's enjoy
Yeah.
him while he's here. Cause
You stop at the store and get him a pack of smokes too. A pack of smokes and
right,
a Whataburger, double cheeseburger, something like that.
even worse.
Yeah, a milkshake to wash down the heart pills.
Yeah. Well, he's not wrong in the fact that the years he's cutting off is these old ones where he's like 90 and decrepit and can't go upstairs and has to wear a diaper and stuff. He doesn't want to do all that. He'd rather just eat Whataburger.
I don't know. I'm kind of looking forward to that era. I think I might speed that era along. I might go right from 70 to 90. I might, you know what I mean? I might just
Yeah.
like at 70 be
Just
like, treat
kick
me
your
like
feet
I'm
up.
90. Yeah, treat me like I'm 90.
No, see,
Although,
I am far, far too vain. Like I am such a shallow piece of garbage. I don't want people to see me like that, and I'm gonna kill myself. Like no, my kids are never gonna push me around in a wheelchair. Never, never. If I get in a
really?
car and if I get in a car wreck and something spinal happens to me, no, you're not gonna see me like that. Who all these people in wheelchairs right now that are just living their best life, they're better people than me.
Oh yeah,
They're
man. I'm telling you, I
stronger
look
people than I am.
forward to that. I tell my son all the time, I am going to revel being a burden to you. You are going to be burdened by my very existence. I expect to live with you. I expect your wife to dote on me. I expect to be the cause of the bulk of the arguments between you and your wife. That is what I am bringing to the party. That is what that's a you have a kid late in life, and I did 39. Not super late in life, but that's later than normal. I go, you're gonna have an old dad. You're gonna have to take care of me. I'm gonna
Yeah.
be in a wheelchair at your wedding. not because I have to, just because I always like to have a place to sit. Byron says, I manage the bad shit, but tend to outsource the consequences. That's a good way to do it. Good way to do it. All right, what do you say we get into a little monologue here? Each and every night we like to welcome, oh boy.
I say that's a great idea, Pugs.
Yeah, why not? A monologue. Monologues are always good. James does a monologue every night, so why not let him do it? Let's see if I can nail it this time. All right, please welcome to the stage here in the Comfort Nest Lounge. High atop, I blew it already. High atop the 1%er compound in beautiful sunny downtown Highland Park, Texas. He is a man of many hot takes. He is the global sensation, the comedy sensation that rocked the world. James
Trudeau.
Hanrahan Parker.
Thank you.
I gave you an Irish name.
I was going for James Trudeau Parker, but fine. Prince Charles tested positive for COVID-19. Did you see this, Pugs?
I did.
His symptoms are bad. He's got a cough, a low-grade fever, and ridiculously oversized ears. New Jersey Senator Cory Booker and actress Rosario Dawson have split up.
Get out of here.
No, I believe this is called shaving the beard. Isn't that what this is called? In Los Angeles, rapper Kodak Black was shot in the leg, but in the rap industry, gunshot wounds are considered an occupational hazard.
Oh, my God.
It's probably covered by his workers' comp or something. I don't know. Entertainment Weekly and InStyle magazines are now dropping their print editions, but executives say the periodicals could return if the internet turns out to be a fad. In Philadelphia, a 30-year-old female English teacher was arrested for having sex with a 17-year-old male student. Sadly, the boy was left with a broken heart and a dangling participle. Participle jokes. Today is World Hippo Day. Did you know this, Pugs? World Hippo Day?
Not.
You didn't have a party? Well, the purpose of World Hippo Day is to raise awareness of Whoopi Goldberg.
Look at that.
It was on this day in 2004 the Texas Rangers traded Alex Rodriguez to the Yankees for second baseman Alfonso Soriano and Joaquin Arias. And 17 years later, A-Rod was traded for Ben Affleck.
Didn't fire. There we go.
And finally, happy birthday to actress Jane Seymour. I don't want to say she's getting old, but she has a new show coming out on Netflix called Dr. Quinn Metamucil Woman.
All right.
Yeah, we're stupid.
I told my Jane Seymour story. Were you with the show when Jane Seymour came in?
No. How did I miss that one?
I don't know. But that woman, she came in. She was about 60 years old, and
beautiful.
Oh my God, she makes my list of top 5 most beautiful women I have ever seen in real life, up close and impersonal. She is easily in the top 3. She was such an unbelievably good looking woman. Got tall, thin, gorgeous. Oh man.
And we're talking about the actress, not the
not
the second wife.
Henry VIII.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know how old your show was.
We want to do here. Let's do a little moment of joy. Why not? I don't even know if this is a good moment of joy or not, but I like it because it gives me an opportunity to just look at one of my favorite people on the planet. You know who one of my favorite people on the planet is?
Who's that?
Elizabeth Olsen. Do you know who Elizabeth Olsen is?
Yeah, I remember the name, but I can't picture the face. That sounds so familiar. Which one's Elizabeth Olsen?
Elizabeth Olsen is the little sister of the Olsen twins. Yeah, there's another one. And it's the one who can act.
That's not who I think I was thinking of Elizabeth Shue. Do I know Elizabeth Olsen? What is she in?
I don't know. Do you watch the Avengers?
No.
You've never seen any of the... You've got 4 kids. You've never seen the Avengers movies?
No.
She's one of the Avengers. She's Wanda. She's the Scarlet Witch. Oh, my God.
Sounds important.
Oh, my God. How have you avoided seeing the Avengers and you have boys?
I don't know. Maybe we're all gay or something.
I don't know if you're gay, but you're definitely weird. That's weird. Your boy should be Avenger crazy. I've seen every Avenger movie like at least 3 times.
Man,
And
there's
my
like
son has seen it at
22 of
least
them.
5 times. It's insane. All right, so here's the premise with today's moment of joy. So you know that show Hot Wings?
Yeah, where the people eat hot wings, or super hot wings, and have a conversation.
Such a brilliant show. That is such a brilliant show. Why did I come up with that? That seems like a show that I would have come up with. I'd have told 1,000 people, and 1,000 people would have been, that's stupid. And then somebody with his own money did it himself, and now it's one of the most watched things on YouTube or TikTok or whatever it is. All right, so this is the Hot Wings Avengers version. These are all the Avengers, okay? All right. So all the Avengers, and the question is, I guess Wanda truly is the most powerful Avenger, because chances are Wanda is the most powerful of all the Avengers. So here we go.
What's her bit? What is her superpower?
Well, I'll explain later. Spider-Man, there's Ant-Man, there's Shang-Chi, there's Black Widow, and look at her. She doesn't even care. These guys are freaking out. There's Hawkeye. Look at Wanda.
I'm feeling okay. I feel brave. I feel strong, and like I can conquer hot wings.
Yes, she can. One more time. All right, look at all the Avengers. And look at Wanda. Look at Wanda. She don't care. Oh, can't handle it. Oh, even Captain Marvel's freaking out.
I'm feeling okay. I feel brave. I feel strong, and like I can conquer hot wings.
There you go, and you should. That's Elizabeth Olsen, Wanda Maximoff. For my money, I believe my son. I wasn't an X-Men fan either, but my son forces me to get into X-Men too. So I will include the X-Men in the Marvel universe, James. I believe that the 3 most powerful beings in the Marvel universe are Dr. Manhattan, who I don't even know how you deal with him. Dr. Manhattan, Captain Marvel, who's Brie Larson, and Wanda, who is the Scarlet Witch, who we just saw right there. I don't know. I'd like to see those 3 fight it out. 2 chicks.
I have no idea what you're talking about. I hadn't even heard of these people. The Captain Marvel's a chick.
Yeah, it is now. Yeah.
It is now. What is it? Gender fluid or something? Did it go through the transition? Did it have the bottom surgery?
I don't know. I really don't know. I just assumed that the original Captain Marvel was a guy, because there didn't used to be any females.
There's always been chicks in there, right? Like Wonder Woman and stuff.
Yeah, she was like the only one. All right.
Well,
so
what about the Broad and Fantastic Four?
Yeah, but
I know nothing, dude. I don't know.
She's just a token. All right, so these are Wanda's powers. You asked what is her power? What are the powers of the Scarlet Witch? Dude, you've never seen WandaVision, the show?
I saw WandaVision, yeah. Well, I saw about 4 episodes of it.
Well, then you know who Wanda is. That's her. She's the star of WandaVision.
I didn't know that.
She's the lead female. She's Wanda. She isn't Vision. Beautiful. Vision's the other guy. She's Wanda.
Who's the other broad that's in there that does the awesome wink, though?
Oh, that's Catherine Hahn.
Yeah, I love her, man. Jesus.
How great is she?
And she's like my age, isn't she? Isn't she like 40?
She's older than that. She's like my age. She's we'll figure that out. No, she's somewhere in there.
I think we have to do
you asked
before.
What Wanda?
Yeah. Give me your powers.
Wanda's powers. Wanda is a naturally born sorceress with the ability to harness chaos magic, typically presenting itself in telekinesis, telepathy, and energy manipulation and projection. Her magic is also capable of altering reality. That's her big power, where she can alter reality. So if she's ever losing, she can just go, "No, I'm not." It's like, how do you beat that? Wanda's psionic abilities were later enhanced by experimental exposure to the Mind Stone. In Avengers Age of Ultron, Wanda's powers are mostly telekinetic and semi-telepathic, occasionally engaging in hypnosis by inducing nightmarish-like images into the heads of the 4 Avengers. She also displays moments of energy projection, including throwing energy bolts, creating force fields to protect herself and Sokovian citizens, and taking out an army of Ultron drones with a wave of energy. At the new Avengers compound afterwards, she is seen briefly levitating. Let's see. What else does she have?
Well, can she beat up Superman?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
What?
So Superman is just like, Superman really only has powers because he's here on Earth. But when he goes back home, he might be a pussy. You know, he might just be a
Okay,
regular.
but I mean, let's just say they're in Mesquite, and they got to fight.
Wanda. My money's on Wanda.
Okay.
Again, because if Superman scares her, she'll just alter reality. Okay, we're now existing in a reality where you have no powers. You know, shit like that. I mean, I don't know how you beat that. How do you? I don't know what you do with that. And Captain Marvel is another one. She's like she's a space person. Captain Marvel basically has all the things that Superman has, but more. But she got more. Yeah.
Well, Superman was a DC thing, so Captain Marvel was supposed to be like their answer, like their Webster to different strokes.
I think so. I think maybe. Yeah. Hey, I'm trying to. Was Captain Marvel maybe? No. Okay, so here's the thing. Captain Marvel. This is interesting. You'll love this. This is nerd stuff.
Okay.
Captain Marvel. Okay, was originally the lead superhero in another comic book franchise, like United American Comics from like the 1940s and 50s. But she was going around as Captain Marvel, and then these other guys came and started a new comic book company called Marvel. But see, Captain Marvel already existed. Captain Marvel was already a part of this other comic book franchise, this other comic book company. So there was a lawsuit, and then there was like there was a difference that they argued about, oh, it's spelled different or whatever. But then years later, when the original Captain Marvel comic book company went under, Marvel bought them up and brought Captain Marvel into the actual Marvel universe. So
Okay.
that's boring stuff. Hey, you got anything?
No, I mean, kind of. I don't know.
That's all right. Well, I want to watch something with you.
Okay,
So
let's do your stuff first, because my stuff's kind of mean.
Because I would like to get your take on something.
Right.
Let me see if I can pull this up real quick. Oh, your stuff is mean. Oh, really, James? James is doing mean stuff? No way. I don't have any soda. I've been drinking water all day.
Because you don't want to go to the store, or you're being healthy?
50-50. It's both. It has to do with both. All right, let's see here. I've had a long day. I had a lot of stuff that I had to do today. I don't know why my internet isn't working great. Oh, for crying out loud. Darn it, James.
What, the video's not working?
No, it's not that the video's not working. It's just I'm not prepared. I'm not prepared. I started really late today. I was doing stupid shit. But here, let me I'll find it for you. And I want to get your take on this.
Okay.
Because I'd rather have you be the bad person. All right, here we go.
That's my job.
That's your job.
Worker.
Okay. So what we've got here is we've got a person who well, they are a trans person. They are they are one of them, one of those people with that thing going on. God love them.
This was my thing.
This is yours?
Mm-hmm.
This isn't, you were going to be mean? All right. Well, let's get into it.
This is exactly what I was going to tell you to pick up. Okay.
Well, then you have takes on it, because I do as well, and I will let you.
I
will
do.
let you go first. So here's the situation. This person was at work, unless you want to set it up.
Yeah, so this person works at like Spencer's in the mall, judging by her outfit.
Somewhere.
But, yeah, it's nothing prestigious, and that I'm not crapping or punching down. I've worked most of the jobs like that most of my life. But it's another one of these where clearly it's a chick, but she's not wearing makeup, and she has my haircut, and she's wearing my clothes, and she doesn't want to be a her or a him. She wants to be a they, and she just flips out if you mess up, and that's
a woman at work accidentally called her a her, and
a coworker, yeah,
a coworker called her a her, and from what I gathered from this, the coworker wasn't even necessarily doing it to be cruel. It seems like she even admits that it was a simple mistake. And they became so shook that they had to run out to their car, have a breakdown, and then record this. So shall we watch how delicate this flower is? Here we go.
I have this one coworker who simply refuses to use the correct pronouns for me. I've called her out every time she misgenders me, and she just is resigned to not change.
Okay, first of all, can I just say this, James? Why is this person, and I'm trying to be as respectful as possible, why is this person so entitled that they feel that people have to bend over backwards to accommodate them? That's what I don't get. I think that we should all be respectful and, adhere to everybody's wishes and whatever you want to be called, whatever if your name is Bob and you want me to call you Bubba, okay, I'll call you Bubba, whatever. It's no skin off my nose. But if I slip up and accidentally call you Bob, it's not because I'm disrespecting you. It's because this is a tricky little situation you've created for us, and I'm sorry. I'm just not paying attention that closely.
And today just broke something in me. I just snapped. I ended up yelling at her after the third time she misgendered me, and within like 30 minutes, like I use they them pronouns.
Okay, at this point, isn't she the bitch, or
Yes.
are they the
Oh
bitch?
yeah. Oh, clearly. Oh yeah. Yes.
So you slip
Without
up
a
and you
doubt.
start yelling at them because you snap?
Yeah.
That's a you thing. That's a you thing. You're
look,
the one that snapped.
This is an abusive relationship sort of power move, is what this is.
Okay, continuing.
And she got so defensive. And I just started explaining to her, like, I'm sick and tired of this shit. Like, you need to at least make an attempt. And
we need to make it. Now the demands are on us.
Yes.
She popped off, got upset, got defensive. What are you going to do about it? And I just said, I'm going to be really hurt and sad. Like, that's all I can do about it.
Stop it right there. You lying ass bitch. That's not all you're going to do is be hurt and sad. You're going to turn her into the manager. You're going to make a video about it. She's going to be harassed. You're going to do this performative wokeness crap and cry in your car at the beach about it. No, you're not just going to be upset and sad. There's going to be a whole tornado of shit coming at this girl from HR if you want to.
Kiddo, I'm hurt and sad every moment of every day. You got to get used to it, kid.
Well, you know what? Finish it before I do my whole treatise on this.
And the worst part is that at that point, my boss, who claims to be so woke and like happy and joyous and making a safe, positive environment for everybody,
you're exhausted,
gangs up on me with her and says, like, this is...
Gangs up. I imagine at this point they're in front of customers, or there's like, third parties that are hearing the screaming coming from they, them.
Right.
Yeah. And so he's right. This is not the time. And he's not ganging up on her, on you. He's just agreeing that you need to you're at work.
Down.
You're at work.
What is happening here?
Person, like, shut up. This is not the time for a political statement. And I was upset.
Person's crazy.
So, but was trying to take such a level-headed approach to it of like, this is not a political statement. My identity is not a political statement. It's just my identity. All I'm asking you to do is respect that. And it really is within our own community that people have the most rampant transphobia.
This is a person who revels in being a victim.
Yes.
This is a person who runs towards whatever sort of adversity there could possibly be in their life and wraps themselves in it. It warms them. You know what your identity is, kid? Your identity is being a constant victim. That's how you get through life. Look, you have other challenges, obviously. And I think that the world is slowly coming around to embracing and understanding this kinds of thing. Nobody is out to get you personally. This wasn't a personal attack on you. You wanted to be attacked. You wanted to be the victim here. This is why you're sitting in your car crying. All right, James, you got anything? We'll save it till the end.
Oh, let it finish, because you kind of have to hear the last 30 seconds for my dissertation
that
makes sense.
refuses to use the correct pronouns for me, claims to be bisexual, and she stands up and goes, when I came out as bisexual, everybody was mad at me. It's like, then why are you mad at the trans kid? Like, what? You want to inflict that same pain onto me? Why? It's so frustrating because then my boss spins it around as like I'm the one who's making a scene and is being like over emotional or oversensitive. And it's like, all I am asking is for you to make an attempt to try and respect my gender identity. And they're both just going at me like, this is not the time. We're trying our best. You should be compassionate and understanding. You should just accept it with love and move on. Like, it's so frustrating. I literally was shaking so hard. I just got up and left. I came to the beach. I didn't know what else to do.
So that's how they dealt with adversity. That's how they dealt with the problem in their life. They just went to the beach, James. They just, they checked out. They're not going to deal with it. They just went. I fucking hate that person. I hate that person, and I don't have any hatred. I don't hate that person because of their gender fluidity or because of their choice to be fluid, their choice to be a they. That's not why I hate them. I don't have a problem with that. As a matter of fact, I'm pretty open-minded when it comes to that stuff, and I will respect you. What I hate about you is that you are a crybaby daffodil. The world is a difficult place. You have already accepted a challenge in life, and you've got to understand that the world is slowly changing, but maybe it isn't changing to the point where everyone's going to bend over backwards to accommodate you and all of your little pronoun wishes and all that. But people are fucking trying. And I swear to God, if you can't just give a little, I'm literally shaking. I'm so tired of that, James. Yeah. I'm so tired of the people. I'm so tired of the whole I'm shook thing. Stop it. No, you're not shook. You still live at home. You still use your parents' cars. You still work at the mall. You want to talk about being shook? Try losing your career. Try being divorced. Try going through some real bad shit. I'm telling you. Why are these people? I'm not. When I say these people, I'm not talking about gender fluid people. I'm not talking about people because certainly a lot of them are tougher than I will ever be with some of the adversities that they have faced. But there is a generational thing going on here where these kids are absolute, and I hate to use the term because it kind of makes me and it's overused, but snowflake is about as perfect a word as you could use to describe someone with that kind of constitution, someone who is that fragile.
Okay, I think you're close, but really, we know she's not really shook, right? We agree there that she's not.
She's over dramatic. She's a victim. She lives to be the victim.
Right, and I don't think she has some sort of mental disorder that needs to be accommodated. I think this is a learned behavior. She probably doesn't even really have gender dysphoria. She just needs something to make her life interesting. Human beings, through 200,000 years of evolution, we have faced incredible obstacles. We didn't have climate control until like 50 years ago. So that means when it was hot, you were hot. When it was cold, you were cold. If there was bad weather, there was a famine, and half of you are going to die. And if there's a problem going on in the next tribe over, they're going to come over and start shooting you with bows and arrows and chunking rocks at you until you freaking die so they can steal your food.
James, I grew up in an era where we had 4 television stations. You want to talk about adversity.
Suffering, right. The hills to climb, right. But look, we faced, being attacked by animals. We had no medical ability. So if you got a disease, it was just up to your immune system. If you were severely injured, you probably just bled out in the field. Or if you had a heart attack, there was no coming back. There's no second heart attack. You just died. So there's all kinds of obstacles. Like when you were growing up, your parents had 12 kids and like 7 of you were going to die. Right? You had to probably face war. You probably either had to kill or be killed at some point. You probably were like hungry for days at a time. This bitch has never been hungry for 48 hours without, purposefully doing an intermittent fast. Like there's no more famine in the world. There's no more challenges to overcome, but it is endemic in every animal. We're all bred and born and descended from absolute stone cold badass killers, the toughest of the tough, people who could sleep in the rain when it's cold, people who could eat raw meat from something they just killed without cooking it. That's who we came from. We're not supposed to have this lap of luxury where we're in climate control all day and we sleep on these soft beds, and we've never even had our feelings hurt before, much less watch a sibling die or watch your mom getting eaten in front of your face by some wild animal, or the next tribe comes over and just rapes everyone around and you manage to, swim away in the river or something. So I think the human condition just invents these obstacles. Like, if you're not really presented with obstacles, then you have a tendency to invent them, because you don't see a whole lot of these, I'm literally shaking performative wokeness people like in the hood where they actually have obstacles, where they actually have to face some sort of adversity and not live in absolute glorious luxury every second of the day. Like, how have you ever had a cat?
No, I've never had a cat.
They go in this little mode every once in a while. You could be in the living room or the bedroom and they'll hunt. They'll get low and they'll crouch and they'll sneak up on something, whether it's like a toy or like a sock or your foot, and they'll get like on the edge of the couch and then they'll dig their back feet in, because they have just been trained from thousands of years of evolution to hunt. At some point you got to kill. You got to kill to live. And so it just kicks in. And so human beings have that fight in us too. But if you have nothing to fight against, it's going to manifest itself in weird ways. And this is a rational reaction, actually, to what this generation is being taught, because they are giving incentives to this behavior. You get all kinds of...
I think that's fair. I think that's too, you're casting a wide net there, because I know a lot of people that would be, what is she, 18, 19 years old? That's how I would put her somewhere in there. Mm-hmm. I know a number of kids. I used to work at a restaurant where I had a number of people that age that were, working there as part-time jobs or whatever. And they weren't like this. They were tough. They could take a beat down. You work in a kitchen where Friday night, you got to put out 400 pizzas. And
no. I must have expressed myself poorly then, because no, it is not everyone in this next generation.
But it is a pretty nice little corner of it, though.
This is just a new option that wouldn't have been tolerated in previous generations. And not only is it tolerated, it's kind of being encouraged, because this is a way for you to sort of climb a social hierarchy. Because, the worst thing you can be in the performative wokeness crowd is me. You can be a straight white Christian male and, God forbid, another breeder over here. Bet he probably even believes in God and, stupid stuff like that. But this is what we're training the next generation.
That's what I was thinking, but okay.
Right.
Go ahead.
But people will invent obstacles, and you see people do this in much more healthy ways all the time. Like these people who are like, I'm going to run a marathon, or, people like Mark Zuckerberg for a year. Every time he ate meat, he killed the animal that he ate. Did you know about that? He went through a year.
Yeah, I thought it was Bezos who spent the year eating weird things, but maybe that's just something billionaires are doing. Go ahead.
Maybe both of them did it.
Yeah.
Well, look, there's a couple other things here. For me, like, this is how I was talking when my grandmother died in front of my face when I was holding her hand, right? That's the biggest challenge I ever faced. So I got to think, for this little sweetheart, this is the biggest challenge she has ever faced. Right?
I don't believe that. I
do.
I don't believe that. No.
Okay.
Look, here's let me put it to you this way. You said something that was interesting. You said they're encouraged to behave this way. And I don't know what you meant by that, but I know how I took that. And this particular generation that we're seeing here, and she would be a prime example of what I'm talking about, people of her age. There is a new kind of addiction that we are facing, and it is the addiction for a constant stream of social media validation. That's why she ran out to her car. That's why her first thought was to share it with the world, not to be humbled and be ashamed of the fact that they're breaking down the way people used to do it. When you would go run out to your car to cry because you were snapping, you did it to be alone. You didn't run out to your car to cry so that you could stream it to the entire world. See, there is a big difference there. When people used to, I just had to get out of the situation and I just had to go be alone. They legitimately had to go be alone. They had to take themselves out of it. That is not what she did. She took herself out of the situation that she could be the opposite of being alone so that she could then stream it out and get this heaping portion of social media validation. Oh, you're such an angel. Oh, you're so, I mean, you should read some of the comments here. Would you like me to jump into some of the comments that some of the people wrote? I mean, you can guess what it is. It is 100% you go girl bullshit. It is that manager should be fired.
You go they.
Or whatever.
You go them.
People
you go
offering
them.
the take of the manager should be fired based upon one person's rant on it. They don't know this. People are idiots. Social media has made us dumber. And I honestly, if you had told me in 2007 that there was a new instrument coming into vogue that was going to make us even dumber, I'd have said, no way. We are stupid as it is.
No, it's just this is a megaphone on the existing dumbassity that humanity has carried with us through every generation. It is just getting blown way the hell out of proportion. But look, what if every time you came over to my house, I wanted you to change the meaning of words? So you said, hey, that's a nice cat. No, that's a dog. Okay, well, then what's the dog? That's a cat. So everyone in English for your entire life, these words have meant specific things, and they have meant kind of the opposite of what you want them to mean now. And when you come over, if someone comes over to my house on a regular basis, and one of the times on the visit they accidentally call my cat a cat, and I freak out at them, that's how I feel about this. No, for one thing, you're not being misgendered. You're being correctly gendered. You prefer to be misgendered. That's your preference in your normal state, and that's what you're upset about.
This is where we diverge, because I don't agree with that at all. I believe that there are people who truly have this situation, and you leaning hard into the idea of gender and what the words mean, you're failing to recognize that is simply a construct, a medical construct for the.
Does that work for my dog? Is my dog a boy or a girl?
Yes,
can I tell by? Can I tell by looking at his genitals?
For calling your dog a dog, it does. Yes. What if aliens came down from outer space and said, that's not a dog. We've been calling that thing a flock for the last
No. I mean the gender of my dog, or any animal, or a horse. I can look out in the pasture. I can say that's a boy, that's a girl. How do you know? Look at it. Does it have a dick? Boys have a penis, girls have a vagina.
Right, now we created that. Humanity created those two delineations. The fact is that there are two genders that create humanity or reproduce, right?
Yes.
At least when it comes to mammals, there are two genders.
Yes.
We created the boy, the girl. The boy is supposed to act according to society's dictations this way. The girl is supposed to act that way. That's all a construct created by man. So if a person comes along and says that, yes, when I was born with a vagina, therefore, for the purposes of paperwork, I am a girl, but her inside chemistry is telling him something else, who am I to disagree with that? That's, I think, where we're diverging a little bit.
Yeah, but look, and if they're nice about it and not an ass like this person, then I will respect them and I will call him or her if he wants.
Yes,
I will call him Teddy Roosevelt if he wants. It's not no skin off my back. But I still know in the back of my head that is a girl that we just saw. Like, I don't care if you want to be called they, them, or he, him. I'll even go along with it, but I still know that's a girl. Right? Like, if someone's delusional and they think they're Napoleon and they're in the living room, you'll call them Napoleon, generally because you want to avoid conflict. You don't want to hurt their feelings. You don't want to get yelled at and have a TikTok video made about you. But you damn well know that's not Napoleon. And if a third party comes in and they're like, James, you don't really think that's Napoleon, I would say, well, who am I to judge? I think that very well Napoleon's a construct.
They are biologically, according to parts, a boy or a girl. Whatever they were born with, that is their biological designation, right? Mm-hmm. However, I do allow for a couple of other realms to enter into this whole thing that make up the human experience, and that is psychological. What are they psychologically? I do not know how this all works. And you know what? The people who claim to know how this all works, we've only touched the tip of the iceberg as far as understanding the human psyche and the human mind. So look, you're right. by biological standards of how we determine if someone has been traditionally a boy or a girl, yes, they were something at birth. But again, I can't just sit here and go, well, that's all they are, and it's only that aspect, because I emotionally and psychologically, I believe that there are probably some inputs there. There are some things that inform the end product. And that's why I, in this era, have had my eyes opened up to the idea of these trans people and gender fluid people, because honestly, you hit on something. I don't want to argue it. I don't want to argue it because I don't understand it. This is like when I try to explain to people, this all goes back to what I understand about myself psychologically. I cannot explain to somebody why Robin Williams killed himself. People don't understand that. He had money, he had loving family, he had all this stuff. Well, he had depression. Okay, he had depression. Why did Chris Cornell, at the height of his comeback, why did he just after a great concert, a sold out concert where people went, why did he go back to his hotel room and kill himself? Because this is a bouillabaisse of all kinds of insanity. And we really don't understand I have no idea what's going on inside your noggin. You have no idea what's going on inside my noggin. It's why we're constantly surprised by the actions of people. It's why neighbors always say, I had no idea they were a serial killer. I mean, I have tried, as someone who has depression, who has been in depressive spirals in front of two wives, I have tried to explain to them, and if you don't have it, you don't understand it. And even in that case, when I've talked to I've gone to group therapy where you sit and you talk to other people who have the same thing. I cannot pretend to understand what the person sitting across from me is going through, other than the fact that we both fall under the designation of manic depressives, right? That's it. But is their version different than mine? Probably,
yeah.
I only understand mine. So in the mind, when it comes to this gender orientation and all of this stuff, I don't know. And I'm not going to go, you are what you are. I mean, that seems a little bit totalitarian. And I think you said the right word. You got to just respect them to avoid the conflict. If you don't understand it, and none of us should understand it unless we're going through it, just respect the human being in front of you and do what you can to avoid the conflict. However, that woman that we just saw, having said everything I just saw, that woman we just saw is constantly, in my opinion, fishing for conflict. She wants the conflict because she wants to be the victim.
Look, I have one good friend that is trans, and whichever one they are at the time, because he was a she tonight.
Yes, you have a very close friend who is.
Yeah. He doesn't care if you get the pronoun wrong or if you call him he or her. I mean, he prefers to be called a her when he's dressed up. He prefers to be called a him when he's not dressed up. And when he's dressed as a male. But I think, and he thinks, we have this conversation quite a bit, that the LGBT is not a community. The LGB is one community, and the T has a whole nother set of problems that the LGs and Bs don't have. And she kind of hit on it, or he or they kind of hit on it when the coworker's like, well, when I came out as bi, totally separate issues, totally separate.
Yeah.
Gay people are not asking you to you got to keep it top of mind every time you're around them. You got to change the definitions of certain words in order to keep them from blowing up.
Right. There's linguistic gymnastics that have to be done in this day and age as we figure out what the proper way to address people who are gender fluid are. And it's troubling to a lot of us who are not used to it.
Right. And the LGs and Bs aren't making demands of everyone to use their special coded language, and they're also not demanding that to have part of their genitals mutilated or have surgery in order to accommodate it. And I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm just saying the LGs and Bs have one set of issues, and the Ts have a completely separate issue, and it's not fair to put them together, because that is not some cohesive group that is sharing a similar burden at all.
I want to address a question that my buddy Rob Barr has. He says, so Kanye West thinks he is God. Should we concede to that? No, absolutely not, because I think that there is enough other, we have to look at Kanye West in the context of what we've seen publicly over the last decade. Kanye West is a crazy person. Crazy people have delusions of grandeur. He thinks he's God because we understand why, because he has delusions of grandeur. Now, if Kanye West, as James just said about Napoleon in your living room, if Kanye West was in my living room demanding that we call him God, then I would call him God until the police arrived.
That's my rule, man. That is exactly how I roll.
That's it.
Yeah.
You know what adhered to that? Do you have any familiarity with the old late 70s situation comedy Soap?
No.
Okay. Well, Soap was one of the great edgy comedies of the 1970s. First gay character on television, Billy Crystal. It's where Billy Crystal came from. He played Jody Dallas, the first
He's
gay
gay?
character. No, he was the first gay character. Jody was.
Right.
But there was this, it was about two families. One was a working class blue collar family, and one was a very wealthy, high end family. And the matriarchs of both families were sisters. So one sister was blue collar and one sister was high end. And the families would come together, and it would be like the mishmash of the two types of families. In the wealthy family, there was it Grandpa? I don't know. Maybe some of you folks in the chat room could tell me. But Grandpa thought it was still World War II. And he ran around the house wearing his military uniform, and the major. Everyone had to call him the major, and they just indulged him. Not because they believed he was the major and it was still World War II, Rob. They did it just simply because they knew what he was, which was crazy.
And that's what normal people do. That's what you and I would do. That's probably about what 90% of America
I just don't think that we can apply the clinically insane to people who are in this day and age running around saying they're gender fluid. I won't go that far.
Oh, no, they're not clinically insane, but they're not 100% sane either.
They're not.
They have a condition. They have a dysphoria. Dysphoria is a mental condition.
Sane and insane. That's a hand grenade word in this in this context. So I'm not exactly.
I'll throw it. They're not 100% sane. They're only 90% sane at least. I'm probably only about 80% sane.
Yeah, there's no way. I'm a good 65 on my best.
Yeah, you're all manic depressive. You got disorders.
I got all kinds of things.
I just drink a lot. Okay, so there's another issue that comes up with this, and I think it's kind of gross and offensive the way she refers to herself as oppressed, and I hear this a lot. And when they make comparisons to racism, I find that so cringy. Like I'm literally shaking. No, like what black people went through is not what trans people have gone through. Like, I mean, just look at her situation. This is the worst thing. This is the biggest challenge she's ever faced. The most offensive thing she ever faced. I remember seeing Roots, and when they changed Kunta Kinte's name to Toby and they whipped the hell out of him, did he get to go cry at the beach after that and have a nice little recovery? No.
I didn't follow Kunta Toby on TikTok. He may have, but I don't know. Right, hold that thought, because I gotta get the dog. She's barking on the back porch, and it's dark out, so I gotta go get her. I'll be right. Just hold that thought. Talk to the people, James. Rant.
All right. No, and I'm with you, Clovis. Grammatically, it makes my brain hurt too, and I will tolerate it in front of my face, but it's almost like a mockery. It's like if someone came in and they were screaming at me, 2 + 2 = 5. I'm like, fine, 2 + 2 = 5. Sure it does. Fine, you're a girl. Sure you are. Whatever makes you happy. You just indulge people. But it's not the same. Like, don't ask me to believe that that's not a chick, because that's a chick. And it's okay. Look, who told her being a chick was bad?
Get out of here. Go lay down. All right. Sorry about that. Go lay down.
That's quite all right.
All right. Should we be done with this, or you want to keep going? We got any more things in here that we got to talk about grammatically? It makes my brain bleed. Yeah, Clovis, I'm with you. It's difficult because however, the whole way that we struggle with the pronoun struggle that we have, maybe as this becomes more normalized or mainstreamed, like maybe my son won't, maybe our children will not have the trouble that we had, but this shit didn't exist for the first 40 years of our lives. You know what I mean? It didn't exist. It wasn't a thing. And now suddenly we are being told that we need to change the way that we think on these issues.
Well,
And
I think this is a big
to-
deal because they're not just asking for you to accommodate their gender dysphoria. They're asking for a huge power, the power to change definitions of words. And I'm not willing to give that up. We need words to have meanings, and we need those meanings to be static, not dynamic. And there's an important use for static definitions of words, and we can't just be fouling up the language and making it so vague that it's less meaningful than it is now. You know how hard it is to find the right word for the right situation?
Accommodating an individual's personal preferences isn't necessarily us changing the meaning of words for everyone. It's simply
I know.
They're making an ask, and I'm telling you, the respectful way to handle this is to just do our best.
Yeah, but okay, here's the example. Like if this girl came in and said 2 + 2 = 5, I'd be like, no, it's not. She's like, yes, it is. 2 + 2 = 5. I'm literally shaking right now. I'd be like, fine. 2 + 2 = 5. But when
that would be a crazy person or an idiot. That's a different thing.
It's not. They're insisting on changing the definitions.
Haven't we already reached common ground on the idea that we don't understand what's going on inside their head? And
I don't know why they're getting their math wrong, and I don't need to understand why they're getting their math wrong. And if they're in front of me and they're respectful, I'll call 2 + 2 = 5 if it makes them happy. But when I'm gonna go do like math at work, if I'm gonna go do some accounting and balance like the general ledger or pay my taxes or whatever, 2 + 2 is not gonna equal 5.
No,
and I'm not taking that fantasy land out into the real world, and I'm not going to pretend to play along. But and you're not doing it. You're good about this, but there are a lot of people who are like, who can tell without asking what their proper gender is? Well, I can tell. Right, Byron said it better than me. Definitions can't be fluid, and neither can genders.
Of course they can, and of course they can. We just completely disagree on that. Definitions of things change all the time. All the time.
Yeah, no. They evolve throughout time, but they can't just go bloop and then back and back and back and back and back. That's what he means by fluid. Now, he doesn't mean evolve.
Are you talking about the definition of a slide rule or the definition of a person's individual identity? These are two very different things. This is not, it's not even apples and oranges. This is apples and space stations. These are two completely different categories.
No, because some of these...
Byron is being ridiculously reductive. That is not in any way, shape, or form the way you need to look at a person's personal identity.
Well, look, if the definition of a word isn't somewhat static, then it's not a definition. Then words don't mean anything.
I will come to you on this. Definitions of words, yes. The definitions of words. You open up the dictionary, certainly if you open
up but there is a section of this performative wokeness crowd.
But we're not simply talking about words, we're talking about people. So
yes. So they will wake up and they will decide today that they are a she. And then they will wake up the next day and they will decide that they are a he, and then they'll wake up on the third day and decide that they are a they. No.
Well, if that were the situation, then you're absolutely right. Then that person is a fool and they're not being sincere about whatever issues they're dealing with personally. But if it's somebody who truly does commit to one specific way of life for an extended period of time and that's who they want to be, that's different than what you just described. You described a crazy person.
Okay.
You described a lunatic.
Right, but even if this girl decides that she's going to be they, them for the rest of your life, whenever she goes to the hospital or to something that is medically involved, she is going to be a girl, and she is going to have to be treated as such, whether they acknowledge it or admit it or use the correct pronouns or not. She can't get her prostate examined. That's not a thing.
And she can get pregnant.
Yeah, well, if she's not already barren from tearing herself up with hormones, yeah.
You said something. Hold on a second. Gotta fix this. I completely lost my train of thought on this. Okay.
I'm never going to have a period. No matter how much I want the definition of that word to change, or I claim, or I force everyone to use the word incorrectly, I'm never going to have a period.
Agreed. Okay. So there it went again. I keep having this thing. You said something that triggered something and I keep losing it. It was about, it doesn't matter. Hey, let's go out with this. I found something else that I wanted to talk to you about. And is Adam Reyna in the chat room? Because he hates He does not like. Today I did a whole thing on the latest that's going on with Kanye and how he's just flat out stalking Kim now and making threats against Pete Davidson. And Adam put his 2 cents in. He does never want to hear about Kanye again. And I said, well, I can't help you. If he's trending, that's what the whole point of the noon show is. I have to talk about the things that are trending, the people who are making news, the headlines. But here is another. This has something new to do with Kanye. It does not, and it has something more to do with someone who we like. This has to do with Michael Che. Michael Che.
I love Michael Che. Okay.
So Kanye West, in his never-ending quest to have Pete Davidson's life turned upside down, has made a request of Michael Che to walk away from Saturday Night Live, so that to walk out of Saturday Night Live to show his loyalty to Kanye, which is insane because, as Michael J. says, I don't even know you, man. It's like, what do you mean my loyalty to you? What is this about? So Kanye has made an offer to Michael Che to he will triple or he'll double his salary if he just walks out of Saturday Night Live. Kanye's a crazy person. He is obsessed with Pete Davidson now. I don't know if you heard the story from last night, but he went on Instagram. Kim and Kanye got into a text fight, a private text fight between a man and a woman going through a divorce, and Kanye posted it all up on his Instagram. Like,
oh, I missed that. That is awful.
And one of the things that Kim said, one of the was, please, please, please. She was begging him. Kanye sent a truck filled with roses to Kim's house for Valentine's Day on the very day that he broke up with Julia Fox, the girl that he'd been running around with. And then, so the thing that Kanye posted was Kim saying, please stop making threats against Pete. This is serious. There are crazy people out there and something bad could happen to him. And then it would be all your fault. So Kanye posts that. He puts that up on, it's like a piece of shit that he is. He's the total piece of shit. So he puts that up there and then he says, all right, y'all, because the woman I love has requested that y'all leave Pete alone, I'll handle him myself. And then he put a meme of some guy choking somebody out, right? So Kanye's like, don't you do it, I'll do it.
Did you say meme?
Meme, yeah. So at any rate, Kim was sending a private note to this guy saying, this is getting crazy. These threats are getting scary. And, I framed it like this afternoon. I imagine that Kim Kardashian is extremely sensitive to these kinds of things, considering that her godmother was Nicole Brown Simpson and that her dad defended O.J. Simpson and that her mom, Kris Jenner's best friend, was Nicole Brown Simpson. Kim Kardashian was a little girl when her godmother was murdered by a friend of the family, Juice, by her dad's best buddy. Yeah, you didn't know about that?
Yeah, I just forgotten about it till you said it. I've heard that before. It doesn't. Yeah, I don't even think about that in like a Kim and Kanye dispute over here. And Pete Davidson wasn't even born when that happened.
Yeah, right. But yeah, Robert Kardashian was OJ's attorney and best friend. He was his personal attorney, and Nicole Brown Simpson and Kris Jenner were best friends. They were like a couple, they were like two man and wife who they all hung out together. They went on vacations together. They went on family trips together. And Nicole Brown Simpson, Kim Kardashian, this is Nicole Brown Simpson. I called her my godmother, all of that shit. So she has seen a crazy self-entitled dude with delusions of grandeur escalate the stalking game. And she also knows Kanye. She knows Kanye in a way we don't. She knows Kanye, the guy frothing at the mouth in the living room, just bouncing off the walls, freaking out. If all of the public shit that we've seen Kanye do, we find to be disturbing, imagine the shit we don't know about. Imagine the shit that she witnessed. She knows what his capabilities are. So she sends him this very serious note about, hey, stop this. It's starting to scare me. And I think that there are crazy people, all that. So he puts that up there. So that was yesterday. And then he writes just some absolutely bizarre thing. Like he responded to her, okay, because my wife, the woman I love more than anyone else in the entire world, has made this request of me, I will do anything it takes to defend you at all costs for the rest of your life. I will be there for, like, he's delusional. She's fucking moved on. She has totally moved on. And this guy is doing everything that he can to get her back. And at what point does someone like Kanye West go, well, if I can't have her, nobody can, right? I mean,
how many kids do they have together?
Three.
Yeah, I was thinking it's like 3 or 4.
Maybe 4, but I think it's at least 3.
These kids are going to have to work it out because they are going to be in each other's lives from here on out. Neither one of them is going to outlaw the other. And whenever you have a pretty even match like that.
Well, I don't think it is an even match. I think based upon public displays, I think that any judge is going to give complete custody to Kim because Kanye.
I don't think that's going to be Kim's problem. Kim's problem is this stuff. How do you get him to stop doing this? You're going to have to make nice with him at some point. Y'all are going to have to get along because who cares what judges say? But she's right. There's some
you were talking about
crazy,
custody, but
yeah, she's there. There's some crazy dude out there that thinks Kanye really is God, and it only takes one of them to mess up Pete Davidson, right?
Right. Pete Davidson ain't a scary guy. Pete Davidson could get killed in the parking lot walking back from Starbucks. You know what I mean? Just because some nut who attends Kanye's Sunday services religiously, who actually believes that Kanye is at the very least a prophet, is going to do this at his behest. This is insane. And again, we're talking about someone like Kim Kardashian, who hasn't just witnessed this on TV the way we all have. She actually lived in a house where OJ's kids stayed after their mother was slaughtered, right? I mean, so Kim Kardashian has seen this. Wow. Yeah. The kids stayed at the Kardashian Jenner's house.
All right, well, what about this? I'm not saying you're wrong. I'm just a little devil's advocate here. If she can see all this and, she has the experience, and she knows what the archetype looks like or the prototype or whatever the hell, why did she marry him and have 3 children with him?
No, I don't know. Maybe it was a slippery slope, man. Maybe he was interesting for a while. Maybe it was only within the last couple of years when he completely went over the deep end. I mean, he's always been volatile. He has always been, but a lot of geniuses, and I do think that he is a musical genius. But
he
a
makes
lot of people
sick beats.
The only reason that many people reach that genius level in whatever their chosen creation is because they're crazy, because they see the world differently and they hear the beats differently. And it's just, there's something else going on there. Now, it means that you just cannot be in an elevator with them because they are just fucking nuts. But you block them in a studio and you say, okay, crazy ass, come up with something. And then, that's what geniuses do. People think, don't call him a genius, he's just crazy. Well, I don't think you understand genius. Most geniuses are crazy to some degree. There is something going on. It's why they reach genius level, because they are able to cut through shit that the rest of us who aren't crazy can't get through. Kanye West spent this past weekend continuing to make it very clear that he's not a fan of Pete Davidson. From his various social media rants to sending a truck full of roses to his estranged wifey, Kim Kardashian, it's evident that he's beyond dedicated to get the funny man ousted from whatever role he's playing in his family's life. His next attempt went as far as offering refuge to Davidson's Saturday Night Live co-star Michael Che, saying that he'd double his salary just so he never had to look at Pete Davidson ever again. In a now deleted Instagram post from West, the Chi-Town rapper assured his followers and the world that his account has not been hacked, while simultaneously proposing to Che that he quit his job on SNL. Also, should it be concerning that despite how crazy everything we've said up to this point sounds, we aren't the least bit surprised. Anyway, Kanye's pledge and request went as follows. My account is not hacked. I will be at Sunday service at noon will me taking, he's an idiot, will me taking North and Saint, those are 2 of his kids, to the Super Bowl shortly after. He then went on to offer, at Michael Che, I'll double whatever they are paying you, just so you can walk out of Saturday Night Live and you don't have to look at that pawn ever again. Big love. Okay,
that
so
pawn? He called him a pawn?
Call him a pawn, I guess.
Okay.
Yes. I'm sure that Kanye sees him as a pawn because Kim doesn't really like him. Kim still is madly, deeply in love with Kanye. And Kim is just using.
Oh, okay.
He's fucking delusional. He thinks she still loves him. Okay, so here, let me pull this up for you. Actually, I'll just read it to you. Okay, so Michael Che responded to Kanye with his own Instagram post in the thread. Okay, so here's what Michael Che did. Yeah, well, actually, why not? Why not? I'll just show you. Here you go.
Why, if they don't know each other, why is he even bothering with Michael Che? Like, what does Michael Che have to do with this?
Maybe Kanye likes Michael Che, and he just thinks that, hey, everybody likes me
Is it because he's black?
Because I'm Kanye. Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe you should ask Keenan.
That very well could be. Yes. Maybe it's Keenan. Maybe Keenan could be up next. All right. So here you go. So this is how Michael Che responded. Do you see that? Can you see it?
Yeah. Sorry, yay, but I would never betray my friends for anything less than triple salary. There you go. Right.
Hold on.
That's right. $90K a year. Full medical, full dental, 4 weeks vacay, corner office. Plus a pair of Red Octobers. Size 12. No, shut up. And you got to make some beats for my band, the Slap Butts. What else? And you got to tell me what you're going to wear to work the night before so we can look like twins. You do that for me, I'll Rambo that whole building.
There you go. That's how Pete Davidson responds to Kanye West, the idiot. Or not Pete Davidson, Michael Che. Isn't that great?
Michael Che is not a crazy person. Michael Che is just a smart dude who knows what the hell's going on. And he's like, oh my goodness, I have all this attention on me. What am I going to do? Well, damn it, I'm a comedian. I'm going to make some awesome jokes.
My favorite thing was how he started. He started it. He started it off the way. If you're Pete Davidson and you work with this guy for the last 5 years, you see him every day in the hallways. He started it the way you want him to start it. Sorry, Yee, but I would never betray my friends. Like he made it clear from the very beginning that I'm on Team Pete. That I work with Pete. Pete is my friend, and you're fucking crazy. You are a crazy dude, Kanye. All right, there you have it. So that's about it. I got nothing else. You got anything else?
That was fantastic.
Getting that?
This hurts, man, because I'm a big Kanye fan.
I love Kanye's music. I love Kanye's music. Love it. I think he's a terrible human being. He's
just a little crazy. We got some crazy friends and we love him, don't we?
No, I know he's a terrible human being. He's the way he's been behaving here. This is nuts. He's a terrible human being because I think that his greatest infirmary is that he has delusions of grandeur, and you cannot be a good person if you have delusions of grandeur. He believes
you can still have a good heart and think that you're more important than you are. And because he thinks that he's using this false image of himself, but he thinks he's doing good with it. And and from what it looks like, this could just be a guy who's madly in love with the mother of his children. That's all.
Yeah,
he just loves her too much. Is that so wrong?
You're being a little bit too generous. I think he's a jackass.
Oh, he's a jackass.
I think he's a crazy person, a jackass. I don't think he's a particularly nice man. I think that he's got, the funny thing about Kanye that I don't know that people recognize because, he plays up the whole, he's from the south side of Chicago thing, right? Like he's got some sort of street cred, his kid's name is Chicago and he's got the big mansion there and he raps about, the mean streets or I'm not to the extent that a lot of gangsters does, but he has come forward with that kind of thing. Like I'm from Chicago, like that whole thing. Kanye West went to an all-white high school, like a really private all-white high school. His mom was a college professor at the Chicago State University. He did not. He is not.
From the streets.
Chance the Rapper is another one. Chance the Rapper is from the south side of Chicago too. Common came from the real streets. Common came from Englewood. Common came from when Common talks about the stuff that he's seen. It's legit. But Kanye West was. He went
like Aurora or something.
If anybody in Illinois is listening, he went to high school in Oak Lawn. Which is like a white Irish suburb, which is just outside the city limits of Chicago. And he went.
It's the opposite of Oak Lawn in Dallas.
Yeah. It's the opposite. It's a working class plumbers, cops, firemen, but they're all Irish and they're all white guys. And all right, there he goes. There goes James. So don't be fooled by this whole Kanye thing. He is not Yeah, well. All right. He ain't street, I guess is what I'm trying to say. Why does it look like I have boobs? Man, I do kind of have boobs, don't I? Yes, I'm wearing more White Sox gear. It's because I'm working on a White Sox book, and I get all kinds of White Sox gear. Yeah, I got different White Sox. I got this shirt in like 5 different colors. And no, I didn't pay for them. Well, we'll see. That's not entirely true. There are a whole bunch of rappers that are. Well, Kendrick Lamar is a good example. Kendrick Lamar's came from the mean streets of. Another big rapper from Chicago, Chief Keef. He is a legit criminal. He's a legit gangster, which is why I believe he's in jail at the moment. But yeah, I don't think rappers coming from the streets is a 90s thing. It's just that they're not all from the streets. So, they all want to sort of lean into that attitude and that reputation and all and get all that comes with it. But street cred, I guess. But it ain't legitimately a thing. All right, what else do we got? Byron, you look like you have boobs because your chest is gender fluid. Yeah. Leslie says, imagine the crazy stuff he's saying to their kids when they aren't with him. Isn't that sad? Yeah, think about that. Those poor kids, man. I mean, and it's not like those kids are getting any respite from this when they go and hang out with grandma. Because Grandma Kris Jenner is probably filling their heads with all kinds of crazy things, too. I mean, what chance do you have at even a semblance of normalcy when one side of your family is the Kanye West group and the other side of your family are the Kardashians? I don't know. I feel bad for them. They're kept pretty secret, though. I mean, have you seen what they look like? I mean, I saw pictures of them at the Super Bowl, but their faces were all, I think he's doing the Michael Jackson thing with them when they're in public. They were wearing hoodies and sunglasses. So I don't know. God love those kids. I mean, they're incredibly wealthy kids. Their mom is like a crazy ass rich person, and their dad is a crazy ass rich person. Well, probably be easy to navigate all of these difficulties when you've got a trust fund that's worth a couple $100,000. That would lessen the blow. Oh my God, that's right, Will. I didn't even think about Grandpa Bruce Jenner, but that's not. That's step grandpa, and I don't think they see him anymore. The real Kardashian grandpa is Robert Kardashian. He's dead. So, but yeah, you're right. No, but you're right. You're right because all right, hold on, wait. So, what would Kanye and Kim's kids be to Kendall and Kylie Jenner? Nieces and nephews, right? Okay, so Crazy Caitlyn is the father of Kanye and Kim's kids' aunts. Oh, God. Okay. All right. So he's in the picture. He's going to be at 4th of July barbecues. All right. Bye, everybody. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. I'll see you tomorrow at high noon, 12 o'clock. Join us here if you can. God love you. Donate to the show if you can. Like the show, subscribe to the show, retweet it, tell your friends. We do this every night at 9 o'clock, and then we come back and we do it again at noon. The High Noon Show is more topic-driven. I run through all the things that are happening in the world, trending topics, headlines, all of that kind of good stuff. And then this, the nighttime show at 9 o'clock is, I'll do it one more time. I'm telling you, I keep having to back the song up. The nighttime show is just what you've just experienced. Just me and Parker talking about stuff. Technically, he's the mean one and I'm the nice one. At least that's how we've got it framed. But I appreciate y'all tuning in. Thank you so much. Again, support the show with a tip. Support the show by liking. Support the show by retweeting. Doing all of that stuff. We appreciate you. We'll see you tomorrow at noon. Join us. Be sure and stay one step ahead of everybody. Know all that's happening in the world. That's what I give you when we go through the headlines and the trending topics. All right, bye, everybody. Love you. Be well.
On a never-ending quest. I am on a never-ending quest.